the forest healing story of Pink Bear Duardwo. Deep in the forest, in the cherry blossom grove, there lives a special little bear named Duardwo. Unlike other little bears with brownish-black fur, she has a body full of short, tender pink fur, like cotton candy wrapped in the scent of cherry blossoms. Her round belly feels soft to the touch, and even her voice is soft, like the rustling sound of the wind blowing through a cherry blossom tree. At first, the little animals thought her fur color was very special and were a little reluctant to get close. It wasn't until they noticed that Duardwo was hiding countless warmth in her arms. One early morning, Duardwo was sitting under a cherry blossom tree, holding a small earthenware pot filled with honey and having breakfast. Suddenly, she heard a soft woo cry. It was Guagu, the little fox that had just moved to the forest. It couldn't find its mother and had been frozen into a ball by the cool morning wind, with its tail drooping. Duardwo hurried over, opened her arms, and hugged Guagu, saying, "Don't be afraid. I'll accompany you to look for Mom." She wrapped Guagu in her soft pink fur, as if covering it with a warm little blanket. She also scooped out a spoonful of the sweetest honey from the jar and fed it to Guagu, with honey in her mouth, gradually stopped crying and followed Duardwo to look for her mother in the cherry blossom forest. It wasn't long before the fox mother came running anxiously. Guagu threw herself into her mother's arms and turned back to wave at Duardwo, saying, "Thank you, Duardwo. Your fur is warmer than my little nest." In the morning, Duardwo was picking up petals in the cherry blossom grove when she saw the little squirrel Lely squatting on a branch, worried. It wanted to make a cherry blossom wreath for its sick grandma, but it couldn't reach the highest cherry blossom branch. Even if it stood on tiptoe, it could only touch a few leaves. Duardwo quickly raised her paw and let Lely climb onto her shoulder. "I'll lift you up. You can pick freely." Lely stood steadily on Duardwo's shoulders, picked the most tender pink cherry blossoms, and specially knitted a small cherry blossom hairband for Duardwo to wear on her ears. "Duardwo, this is for you. It looks so beautiful on you." At noon, it suddenly began to drizzle and a gentle wind blew. The little rabbit Tuantuan, who was just playing in the forest, didn't bring anything to shelter from the rain. Her ears were all wet from the rain and she was shivering behind a stone. Duardwo hurried over, using her chubby body to shield against the wind and rain. She also spread the cherry blossom petals she had picked up beside Tuantuan to make the ground less cold. Tuantuan hid under Duardwo's pink little umbrella and gradually stopped shaking. She also shared the dried carrots in her pocket with Duardwo, saying, "Duardwo, this is for you to eat. Thank you for protecting me." In the evening, the rain stopped and the setting sun dyed the cherry blossom forest a sweet pink. Duardwo was sitting under a cherry blossom tree, surrounded by Guagu Lele and Tuantuan. They were sharing honey-dried carrots and cherry blossom cakes. Duardwo chewed the sweet cherry blossom cake, looking at her friends' smiling faces. There were still a few cherry blossom petals on her pink fur, and her heart felt warm. Suddenly, she felt that her tender pink fur was nothing special at all. Because being able to warm everyone up with this soft fur and help them solve problems with small actions was much happier than sitting alone under the cherry blossom tree and eating honey. It turns out that a pink little bear can also become a little sun in the forest, with its tenderness and kindness, bringing healing and happiness to every friend. When the moon rose,朵朵was still counting stars with her friends. Her pink figure swayed gently in the moonlight like a moving little cherry blossom. The night in the cherry blossom forest is quiet, with only the laughter of the friends floating in the wind. Because of朵朵, this forest has become warmer and sweeter. Such days are sweeter than honey and more beautiful than cherry blossoms.